Lamont Roach in training camp, ready for one of the biggest rematches.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like, Roach is a hell of a fighter. He proved he was a hell of a fighter, so he need to get that credit. He's a hell of a fighter. I don't know who's going to win that.
For a while, does Lamont Roach just understand a way to beat or frustrate Tank in a way that others don't?
On his first day of training camp, Lamont Roach makes a remarkable comeback and gets ready for his biggest rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis. As he hones every technique to return to the ring stronger and better than ever, he is focused, driven, and prepared to make this camp matter.
Lamont Roach in training camp, ready for one of the biggest rematches in 2025 against Gervonta Tank Davis, one of the biggest faces. What a man.
Keyshawn Davis's viewpoint on the forthcoming rematch between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis emphasizes how unpredictable this fight is. Although Keyshawn believes the fight is evenly balanced, he notes that Tank Davis's passion for boxing has diminished, raising the possibility that this could have an impact on his performance. Roach, on the other hand, is commended for his skill and toughness, which have won him the respect of both professionals and peers. This evaluation sets the atmosphere for an exciting confrontation by introducing a gripping story. A motivated underdog taking on a champion whose enthusiasm may be dwindling.
Which version he shows up with, and no disrespect to Roach, but you know what I mean.
No, that is disrespectful to Roach, and like y'all fight fans gotta realize that is disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, he in there fighting another grown man that ain't going for none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't think Roach is going to come with another game plan or something better or this, that, and third. So when they had a rematch, are y'all still going to say, oh, Take's still not his full self ever since he fought whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like, Roach is a hell of a fighter. He proved he was a hell of a fighter, so he need to get that credit. He's a hell of a fighter. I don't know who's going to win that rematch. I honestly feel like Tank is losing love for the sport, or he lost the love for the sport and he's no longer hungry anymore.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yet you got a guy that's just super hungry and never had no attention, now getting all his attention, and now he get around two of his attention. Is like, shit, that's kind of hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Tank is still a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's 50-50. And to your point, we were saying, okay, he lost love of the sport. I don't really think Canelo...
After their first battle, Lamont Roach immediately resumed training, in contrast to many boxers who take long pauses. This early gym return shows a sincere desire to get better and adjust. Tank Davis, meantime, has apparently realized that he needs to improve his preparation, particularly after displaying some negligence in the first bout. Now, both fighters are coming into camp with more determination and focus, which bodes well for a fiercely tough rematch. Fans should anticipate a fight full of tactical changes and improved performances from both teams because of their mutual dedication to progress.
Lamont Roach throwing his hands fast as hell. He's in the gym preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times, the actual fight itself wasn't that crazy. The crazy thing is what you've never seen before, the knee. But as far as a boxing match, it was, if you look at the copy box, they didn't throw a lot of punches. It wasn't like, it wasn't really a great fight. But as far as the fight itself, the second one can't, because I think Tank is coming for blood. He's not going to pull his punches at all. I don't think he really did the first time, but I'm not sure how well he prepared or how mentally focused he was. I think you're going to get the very best Tank in a rematch, and you may just get an even better Lamont Roach, since Lamont Roach don't have to speculate if he's good enough. He fought Tank. He has more confidence now than he did before, and he felt that he was robbed. So he's going to be on one. I think the rematch is going to be far more exciting.
Roach and Davis's history goes beyond a simple matchup. It has developed into a pivotal rivalry that may influence their futures. Tank's unbeatable reputation was upended by Roach's ability to hold Davis to a draw. Roach's tenacity and tactical acumen presented a special challenge to Davis, who was well known for his knockout power. Roach was able to match Davis punch for punch during the standstill, which made both fighters' strengths and flaws re-examined. Armed with knowledge gained and a more demanding training schedule, Roach now returns with the assurance that he has deciphered Tank's code.
But they've known each other. These two have known each other for a while. Does Lamont Roach just understand a way to beat or frustrate Tank in a way that others don't? You know what I mean? Like, has he just found it, so to speak? Like, I have a lot I want to find out after that, because the first fight was so controversial. I think leaving it up to a draw is fine, whatever, even though under the letter of the law, Tank probably should have lost this fight, and probably would have if they counted the knockdown when he took a knee. He blamed it on Grease. Roach a real shot, even though I still would say Tank figures it out and gets it done and takes it more seriously this time.
Yeah, I think that because they're so familiar with each other, like these guys fought each other when they were kids. And then Lamont Roach comes into the ring, and listen, regardless, like Lamont Roach came in there and he was confident. And I don't think a lot of people believed that he was going to be able to get it done against Tank. People thought that Tank was going to knock him out. Here's the thing though, Tank is actually super skilled. Like, he doesn't throw a lot. When he does, he's extremely accurate. But he does have skill, and what he does is he reels in his fighters, and he ends up landing big shots on them that end up knocking his opponent out. I think Tank didn't look like...
The endorsement from Shakur Stevenson gives Roach's reputation a lot more weight. Referring to him as a hell of a fighter highlights the respect Roach enjoys in the boxing world. Stevenson notes that Roach is a dangerous opponent because of his flawless timing, defensive prowess, and unwavering resolve, which go beyond his physical prowess. Because both competitors are anticipated to give it their all in the rematch, the emotional intensity of the bout raises the stakes. The knowledge that this fight is personal and important for both men's careers is reflected in commentator Joe Rogan's forecast of a battle, as opposed to a straightforward fight.
I think, considering you were one of the handful of people to pick Lamont Roach, giving him a tough fight, what do you see?
I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his...
The praise that Roach has received for his performance versus Tank Davis is further supported by Ryan Garcia's remarks. Garcia asserts that Roach has dispelled any skepticism regarding his ability and established himself as a legitimate contender on boxing's biggest stage. Tank Davis is now the center of attention for the rematch. His legacy now hinges on how much discipline and heart he brings to the ring. Garcia's observation emphasizes how psychological this conflict is. Roach has shown his strength, but Tank now needs to find the will to win. According to this story, the rematch is as much a test of willpower and character as it is of skill.
Match play out if they do fight again. Sometimes not a loss, but something like this, a blemish, might get you back.
It can. It's all up to Tank. It's all about what, how he feels internally. I think, for him, it's a lot to do up here too, like all of us. But I think that's what you're going to get from Roach. That's what you're going to get at Roach every time, I think. I think it's up to Tank to see, what type of, how far he could go up,
How old is your oldest child?
This battle is more than just a competition for Roach. It might be a turning point in his career. He is driven by legacy rather than money, which feeds his meticulous planning and unwavering concentration. Roach would rise to the pinnacle of the sport and silence detractors if he defeated a fighter of Tank Davis's caliber. Disciplined training, calculated strategies, and a noticeable hunger in every move he makes in the gym are all results of this mindset.
The Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time, because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round, but as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. So Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
A significant aspect of this competition is revealed by insight from his father and mentor, Lamont Roach Sr. He claimed that Tank Davis had been cautious of Roach's skills from the beginning, not out of fear, but rather out of strategic consideration. Tank's hesitancy shows how much he respected Roach's abilities and his ability to end that winning run. Nevertheless, despite these reservations, the boxing industry's business side, promoters, managers, and stakeholders pushed for the bout to go forward.
In camp, so knowing the coaches, they knowing us, it's both ways. It ain't just our way, coming from both sides. So, but no, was I shocked? No. I think Tank tried to tell y'all. Calvin tried to tell y'all, Burry tried to tell y'all, but they didn't want to hear it. They just so stuck on trying to force Tank to fight who they want him to fight. And it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just was made for a great fight. So people need to just sit back and get ready for part 2.
It's gonna be epic, man. I can't wait for part 2, man. Do you got anything to say to the fans, about part 2, about anything that you got going on coming up, social media, anything?
You gonna see the difference. I believe we want to fight. Nobody can tell us different. The majority of the world believe we want to fight. So you're gonna see. Both of them gonna raise their level. Both of them. So yeah, they're gonna make for a greater fight. But
that concludes the video for today. Await the upcoming update.